I grew up with fairies, so like everywhere I've lived, you can always just hear the fairy horn. Yeah. So just like
for the listeners at home, we all just did a limp wrist at the same time. This is not a visual podcast.
And on that bombshell. I'm Justin. I'm a Skullcom librarian. My pronouns are he and they.
I'm Sadie. I work IT at a public library, and my pronouns are they, them.
I'm Jay. I'm a music library director, I guess, and my pronouns are he, him.
And we have a guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hey, I'm Leòn. You've heard me before. My pronouns are he, they. And I do social science, I guess, ? But truly, I contain multitudes. So, But none of them are any good. I don't know if an applause was necessarily, but okay, well, I'll take it.
Just in a rhythm.
Yeah. I was on here last time with my dear co-host. I don't know where they are. I've lost them along the way, but so is life. We're still doing fine. We still have the 2 podcasts. And I'm here alone because I'm going to talk about something my co-host would not necessarily be very helpful with, I think. I'm here again. We talked about media and stuff and the preservation of it. That was fun. I hope.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I've got something to help you feel more at home. So I brought this.
What's that, Danish? Yeah, okay. Yeah, go fuck yourself. I didn't recognize it. I thought it was going to go for Belgian. I was like, this doesn't sound like Belgian stuff. And they're like, oh, fuck, it's the Danish, of course. Okay. No, that's good. That's I did bully Justin a little bit because in the episode description, he thought that the Netherlands starts with a D.
Yeah,
because he confused Denmark with the Dutch. But the Dutch don't live in Dutchland. So
they should.
Okay. No, never mind. I believe
we're getting into European geography this episode.
Yeah, well, a little bit, but not mostly your kind of geography. So the structures, the intellectual and informational structures, if you will, of data.
Oh.
To just tie a little bit into the thing that we talked about last time, we were right about everything, as it turns out. Because, totally. I don't know if you know, Justin, but Ubisoft servers are like, we're going to delete your account if you're not going to play for 30 days or something. Once again, they might not, that is a rule that they have. They might not enforce it, but if you don't spend time on your account, on your Ubisoft account, they might delete you and your access to all your games that you bought on there. So I thought that was a nice tie-in to show that we were right last time when we talked about subscription models and like online servers. Like, it's happening. So
I feel like that's a trend. Like, everyone is like, we're going to delete all these old accounts. Like, Twitter started it. And then Google was like, actually, we're going to delete your old Gmail too. We're going to delete your fucking grandma's Gmail. And then she's going to find out in 3 months and you're going to have to deal with the whole fucking thing.
I feel so bad for every public librarian in this country.
Yeah.
Yeah, what I find remarkable about it is that, and once again, feel free to chip in here, but the way I understand it is that data space now has become cheap, essentially. It is, comparatively to what it was, let's just say that, it's easy to run a server, essentially. We're going to talk a little bit about Mastodon and stuff. You can run a Mastodon server off of like very small hardware, I believe, if that's correct. So I'm surprised that people are so eager at deleting stuff, scrapping stuff, throwing away stuff. I don't know if you guys have a read on that.
It doesn't make any sense to me, except
because
security liability.
Preservation is bad.
Okay.
when you are a company where like things that could be held against you are preserved, and you don't want any sort of historical memory for things. So this is like this like erasure of our culture or memory is on purpose.
Yeah. I saw people react to it, especially with the Twitter stuff. I was like, okay, sure, delete them, I guess. And then there were people like, oh yeah, well, enjoy your dead friends' tweets being gone forever now. Like, screen save them, I guess. I was like, oh right, that's a nice thing maybe to not do, or something like that. And I was like, oh yeah, there's a lot of things to this. And oh Christ, yeah.
Heritage accounts.
Sorry, we shouldn't call it Twitter anymore, right?
I don't care.
X.
It's X. It's
X gonna give it to you.
Jay and I were joking earlier about that's the only thing he knows how to do. He buys into company and names things X. That's the only two things, including his own child. It's the only two things Elon Musk knows how to do. Since 1999.
Cartoon Network had a good post, which was when Robin becomes Red X. It's like Elon whenever he buys a company, and it's just Red X holding a dozen like X batarangs.
Oh God. I'm not sure whether or not it's actually real, but there was a little Nas X tweet that was like, I'm really flattered, but it's very overwhelming. Like, he named the whole website after me, and I'm like,
I love that kid.
Yeah.
So I've got a news story.
How fucked is shit?
This one's pretty dumb. Alabama lawmaker wants changes at state archives after LGBTQ lecture. So, as you may know, Alabama is in session right now because the Supreme Court said that their electoral map was too racist. And so...
And that's something coming from the Supreme Court.
yeah.
You're being too obvious at that point, you know?
And so they're in session, and they found out that there was a 1-hour lecture about gay Alabamans at the state archives. And like they were like, you can't do that. And the head of the archives was like, yes, I can.
Watch me. Yeah.
And then they tried to pass a bill to defund the state's whole archives. And they were like, we're not in session to do that.
This archivist is based. Get him on the show.
This archivist is very, like, professionally, like, fuck you.
Yeah. Better than the fucking Montana librarian.
Yeah. What's his name? Murray something.
Shouts out to Emily.
What's this guy's name? Steve Murray, Archives and History Director. And he's like, yeah, we don't care. We're gonna wait till regular session and we'll let them know what's going on. But it was literally like a 1-hour session of and the people were like, well, the legislator just said, well, this isn't Alabama values. It's like, these are literally Alabama people.
The value is people.
The literal history of your state.
About that.
So technically you're wrong, but even they couldn't get it through their stupid special session because they're too busy not redrawing their map right. And that's going to go to the Supreme Court again. And actually, I don't know what is going to happen because, like, from what I can read, because someone asked me, like, what happens if they don't redistrict right? And I tried to look it up, but apparently it's like it just goes back to the Supreme Court, but there will be elections between then and now. So I don't know, like, when do you send in the National Guard to, like, redistrict Alabama? Restoration 2, let's do it, baby. Reconstruction, sorry.
Just skip the whole Civil War and go straight.
Yeah, this is Reconstruction again.
Yeah.
I'm in favor of this.
Fuck those lines in particular.
That was the news. And more news. Europe's got states, apparently.
Sure.
I wasn't taught about it in school.
That shows.
Yeah.
Yeah. Denmark, Dutchland, you know. Okay. Who does belong? Where does Greenland belong to? You know, that's belongs to itself.
Netherlands.
Well, not the Netherlands, Denmark, and that's a thing. No, we do still have a lot of those little pieces of land, and people seem to forget that.
colonialism.
Well, yeah, it's a neo-colonialism, but do we really need a neo? Is all I'm asking.
The Dutch did some fucked up shit.
All European countries
Yeah.
did. There's a discussion that I often get, or like a question I often get, like, oh, which European country? You're European, you know history. Which European country did the most fucked up shit? And I was like, please don't ever ask. Like, it's Belgians. No, don't ever ask me whichever. No, no. Officially, there's nobody who did like. It's weird. It's weird. Don't ask it, please. It's a question.
Not a competition.
Yeah, no, but precisely,
No,
it's a very
attitude.
team sport mentality. I would say
It was a team sport.
in an area of history where you really should not want to do that. But yeah, very polite. He didn't say anything about the Alabama situation because I get to, I get to show how not nationalist I am. I suppose that's why I'm here. Yeah.
Look, I mean, we're in the middle of a lavender panic. I don't know if you didn't notice, but we're freaking the fuck out. People losing their goddamn minds.
McCarthyism too. Electric Boogaloo. Speed Run.
Yeah, about that, to tie it in, to share the suffering a little bit. I was wrong on one account when I was here last time. I would say like, oh, I'm so happy that I'm from a country that doesn't demonize all these sociological stuff. Because we talked a little bit about like sex education in libraries, which was like a minor segment on the last time I was here. And well, I was wrong. We now have like our far right has copied the American far right playbook and is complaining about drag queens and children's sex education and are actively threatening people who are teaching kids about their genitals. So that's
great.
Yeah.
USA number one, baby.
Yeah. So, well, yeah,
Number
it's very
one
interesting.
is sucking.
He was number one.
Well, it is interesting that, okay, so once again, Americans might not know this, but we know this, which is pathetic. But the Netherlands is a long-standing ally, technically, of the United States. Only in history books shows that only France helped with its independence. Netherlands was there too. And all that. We both just needed England to lose. We didn't like you guys per se, but we just wanted England to lose. That was how that started off. And once again, Netherlands has then always had very close relationships with the United States, and we have like economic friendship treaties. That's literally what they're called with the United States, which shows for like free labor movement or like simplified, making it more smooth, the transaction between labor and capital and goods and whatnot. Between the two countries, it's very easy to get like a work visa as an American here. There's a bunch of you guys here. That's fine. I don't feel one way or the other about that. But no, it's we have the expat culture. It's really big over here. It's a bunch of the big economic cities in Europe have expat.
Yeah, when you're
people.
white, you get to be an expat.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Well, thank you, Justin, for beating me to the punch.
Sorry,
I would have thought
that's where
otherwise. No, exactly. I would have taken 5 minutes. So thank you so much, truly. So yeah. Well, that is the problem a bit. Yeah, and that is big over here. So
I'm a Pennsylvania Dutch. So
which is German.
Yeah, it's just like talking German, and then they'll say things like Minecraft in like a southern accent. Because anytime I've like taken the Amtrak anywhere that's not between where I live in Boston, it's just Mennonites who speak Pennsylvania Dutch, and it's just German, and then they say Minecraft, and then like that's what Pennsylvania Dutch is. They're very rowdy boys. The conductors get onto them all the time.
and they say Fortnite, and then they dab. They're wearing like the outfit.
Oh no!
And they just do like a little jig. I imagine they have little funny dances they like to do.
You gotta.
They've got fun hair.
Lots of them in Sarasota, Florida, too. There's also German speakers in Texas, but their German is incomprehensible.
Oh yeah.
It's like a couple hundred years removed from the source, but they're just like keep doing it.
Yeah, well, it also like fused with a bunch of other things also down there. I saw a documentary on it a while ago in Texas, and it's like one of those endangered languages as well.
Yeah.
Because it's its own thing now, but it's like, I don't know, like Pennsylvania Dutch, Texas German, I suppose. There's another name for it, I forgot, I'm sorry, but
I don't remember either.
okay.
I'm not from here. People are always like asking me like, did you take this class back when we were Pan Am? I'm like, I'm not from here, dude. People like don't even assume you're from Texas. They assume like you're from here. Like who would move here is the whole like vibe of the city. And so they don't understand that people move here for jobs.
How are you doing, Jay?
He's grumpy.
Oh.
Very grumpy. For reasons we won't get into on air.
Okay, so wrote a nice introductory paragraph for us setting the scene. So we're going to be talking about Mastodon. The Netherlands is running their own Mastodon server so they can post their own memes.
Yeah.
So you started off with a background in sort of Dutch corporate climate, which I imagine is, you actually brought up Ireland, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I have a bit. I trimmed it down, but I do have a bit of comparisons. So this is a sketch of two people doing the Irish immigration questionnaire.
The current Irish government is a coalition of which three parties?
Apple, Facebook, and Google.
Yes. Where will you go if you defraud the government in Ireland?
Prison.
Where will you go if you defraud the taxpayer in Ireland?
Spain.
Yes. What is Ireland's biggest export?
Nurses.
What is Ireland's biggest import?
Landlords.
I do know those guys. They're pretty good. It's pretty good. They've done a bunch of countries, so it's not just Irish. They're not pulling the Irish.
I didn't know what it was from. I've only just seen that clip, but I knew I had to get it to bring it in. So from what I understand, the sort of embrace of tech is similar in the Netherlands.
Oh, yeah. I would say it's even a bit more fervent in the Netherlands. The Netherlands has... The Netherlands has also a very strategic position, like just geographically. Like it's a very clear gateway into Europe from an Atlantic point of view. So Ireland is an island, and it's just kind of over there, and is a great first stop. But the Netherlands is part, for those who skipped geography class since, I don't know, middle school, is part of the European mainland, and also part of, like, I would say, and this I ascribe no virtue to this, it's just a statistical thing. But it's also in between the big two European EU countries, France and Germany. We originally were created and enforced because we were supposed to be a buffer zone between those two giant European powers. So Google the Treaty of Luxembourg if you want to know more about that, I guess. But so once again, we have a slightly bigger tech sector, I believe, than Ireland, but that's neither here nor there. But both are very big, and both share a lot of characteristics, like you pointed out, Justin.
And so why is the tech sector so... How has it made such a good coalition there? You mentioned it has something to do with national identity.
It has to do with a bunch of factors, I would say. There's a very simple ones, like we all speak English over here. Like it's a plague. 95% of Dutch adults can speak English, which is almost close to Ireland, and in Ireland is 97%, and in Sweden as well. And like, you know, this corner of Europe all speaks like English very well. But we were the first to do it because we didn't want to translate the movies we imported out of the United States. So that's why we all speak English. Not to any kind of virtue, just laziness. That's it. So
that is a virtue.
Well, I suppose, but it's so this end, like we were the first to like really embrace like economic labor movement. This sounds cool, maybe it isn't. We just like preyed on poor countries for cheap labor. And therefore, we also learned English. There's a large wave of Spanish and Italian populations first. Now it's Turkish and Moroccan. And also Suriname, which is an ex-colony, and so forth and so on. And so we have a pretty diverse populace, I would say, for where we are situated, which also helps with just speaking English. But this infrastructure was then later used to like draw what they call expert jobs, and we got Eastern Europeans that are very good in IT and tech. And we like, oh, come over here, come in Amsterdam. Isn't Amsterdam so cool? And other places, like the other big cities in the Netherlands. But yeah, so there are a couple of factors here at play.
You mentioned something about Holland, but I wasn't sure if that was a joke.
It's okay. This has nothing to do with anything, but I'll just talk about it real quick. So a lot of people call us Holland, and it's fine. We marketed ourselves as Holland. We yell Holland during our soccer matches a lot, and this is just the two. It's like calling United States California. It's just the West Coast. That's Holland. it's understandable to be confused by it because, once again, Amsterdam is in Holland. Rotterdam, the biggest port in Europe and like top 5 biggest ports in the world, is in Holland. So once again, historically, it was Holland who was like the biggest province in the Netherlands. And it has like, it has the capital is there, the parliament is in Holland, and the biggest port, the biggest economic hubs are in Holland. So this is why they refer to the Netherlands as Holland, but we are the Netherlands. So that's just a small thing, not very important.
Yeah, but you also have like very important exports from Holland, like Holland oats.
Yeah, no, I guess we do have a bunch of exports. As a small country, we are one of the leading agricultural exporting countries, which makes no sense because we are the size of like, if America was a body, we are like the size of its left hand. Not even that much, I would say. Like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of like an American state, but I don't know.
Google it.
Well, geographical size I was going to say square kilometers, but you guys don't know what that is. In square miles.
Is that like acre feet?
Yeah, sure. Let's go with that. But no, I'm sorry. Yeah, no. So we are very small, but 18 million people live in this little corner of the world, which is a lot. And like GDP wise, which I have to say as disclosure, is a shit economic measurement. But just to like as a gross indicator of things, which is what it's meant for. Our GDP is in between like Illinois or Florida. So like, for like such a small country, it generates a lot of things. That's all I'm trying to say. That's, yeah.
Larger than Maryland, smaller than West Virginia.
I don't know what that means, but...
I don't either, actually. I don't think about the size of Maryland ever.
I know West Virginia because of the song. And
actually, that song is about the western part of the state of Virginia.
Anyway, it's no, thank you, Jay. But but I know where to point. I can point on Western Virginia on the map. But Maryland, no fucking clue. Yeah. I'm sorry.
It's just a little under. It's under Virginia.
Oh,
it's above Virginia, actually.
Okay.
Oh, I got it.
Oh, the more you know.
They're next to each other.
Sorry, I went to school in Virginia.
Okay.
So.
No, yeah. No, that was totally right. It's where it was the split during the Civil War. So it's Maryland on top, Virginia at the bottom. And then they were basically at war, and then the rest of the country went to war about it. DC was in the middle. Kind of an insane geography for a war when your capital is right on the border of both warring countries.
Yeah.
So where I went to undergrad got kicked out of the Ivy League because it was the only one of the Ivy Leagues to side with the Confederacy instead of the Union. All the rest of the Ivies are in the northern half. Fun fact.
Yeah. Talking about a lot of Civil War stuff today. I didn't expect that as a theme.
We don't have a Civil War yet.
Oh, you really should.
You might import it out of your country as well one day because we are very.
Yeah, you should have one.
Yeah, Every you must try it.
One.
For some reason, we don't. Even though we do have like a lot of cool old school factors, like we have a part of Catholics and a part of Protestants.
Oh,
because we like Ireland so much.
Yeah.
Get them to fight.
I don't know if I can say. Okay,
You're too hard.
Classic.
No, it's a bit. It's especially unlucky time right about now. No, it's but yeah, we have a bunch of like the United States. Because our alt-right has like so eagerly in identifying with all these online alt-right American trademarks, if you will. We are like growing into this more despondent, dare I say. Not that I think things were great before. I'm not coming at this from an arrogant European angle, far from it. I would have loved to see what they made of come up with by themselves instead of just copy-pasting everything from far-right online Facebook memes. I don't know. Sadly. So learning English is the worst. So don't do it. That's the main takeaway. No.
It's done us so well.
Yeah, no. I would argue, and this is not, I think I'm right, and I will just say very politely, it's slightly speculative, but I think a lot of people would agree that the Netherlands doesn't necessarily know what it wants to be. And in typical European ennui, we don't necessarily care all that much either. But at the same time, there is a hole that needs to be filled. And there's not that a lot of conscious thought going on about that, but we do feel like, well, what should we be? Once again, Amsterdam, everybody knows Amsterdam, but it's a relatively small city. It has like 1 million people in it, which is nothing compared to, like, once again, United States cities. My co-host is from Sao Paulo, fucking one of the biggest cities in the world. So everybody knows Amsterdam, and, well, they might not know where it is, but not everybody knows Sao Paulo, which is funny because it has like 2/3 of my entire country's populace living there. So not the actual Dutch people, but, it's just the amount.
It's like those countries in like India or China, a city in India or China, you're just like, it has like 50 million people in it or whatever.
Yeah.
Well, that's why they don't speak Dutch in Amsterdam, is they're all in Sao Paulo.
Yeah, because we moved. No.
I keep having insomnia, and I started reading Marx to fall asleep, and I just wanted to see what I was reading last night. But anyway, Marx was making a point about spiritual emptiness. Well, how socialism is like not just an economic thing, but it's sort of like a holistic religious movement, because like it doesn't even matter if you're an atheist anymore. We're all like rationalists. So like atheism as a thing doesn't really matter. And so there's going to be a void no matter what. And so the next stage of human society should be conscious attempts at socialism as a holistic thing. This is like young Marx. I'm going through some young Marx stuff, so I don't remember. It wasn't the Feuerbach.
Young hot Marx.
It was whatever after that. I don't know.
Was Marx hot when he was young? I don't know what he looked like.
He looked like Aaron Hansen from Game Grumps.
Oh,
it's been way too long since I've watched Game Grumps. Easily more than a decade.
He's the grump one.
Okay.
Not the not so grump one.
Gee, that cleared it right up.
He's the guy from the I Could Be Your Angel or Your Devil. That's Aaron Hansen.
That came from Game Grumps?
That came from him. He's just a crazy person.
Incredible.
That's not the Bienvenue Power Bottoms, is it?
That is, yeah.
That's Bienvenue Power Bottoms?
He was an animator for years before doing Game Grumps. He was like famous as like a teenager.
Hair?
Yeah, he's got a little streak in his hair. I don't know. He's got long hair. He's got a blonde streak in it.
Yeah, he was kind of hot.
Wait, are we talking about Marx? Marx had a blonde streak?
Yes.
Yeah.
Did
you see the anime?
And the
yes. Him and the girl used to go get their highlights done.
Yeah.
So why did the Dutch government launch a Mastodon?
Generally, I think one of the main reasons why to do it is that we are all experiencing, namely that Twitter is getting fucked. As in, well, I'll let it speak for itself. Once again, no need to tell you guys about that. I think everybody listening is well aware at this point. So,
Justin, you need to get an X gonna give it to you drop.
Yeah.
Also, I fucked that up. He looks like young Engels.
Okay. But yeah, no, it's funny because I just listened to the Digital Labor episode of you guys today about you ruining your Twitter account, Justin, and you cannot zeet. How do we say this?
XET.
Zeet, because they won't call it Twitter
Blog.
tweeting anymore. They call it zeeting.
You blog it and you reblog it.
Okay, well, thanks. And the less I know about it, the better, actually. So it's good. So that platform deteriorated, and I don't think necessarily that the Dutch government cares that much about it, but it does care about reliability. You have this Rhineland economic model that's like, oh, well, growth, but not too fast. We care for more stable, more reliable type of angle. This is then still, I would argue, very Dutch as well. And so, once again, Mastodon apparently was pointed out as this more reliable successor, quote unquote, if that's what we want to call it, to Twitter. So they were like, well, we don't want all this noise, as we call it in communicational science, between medium and sender and recipient. Mastodon is just then a lot more clear and reliable, according to them, especially if you can run your own server. I suppose that's a good argument to make. I am really sorry, I don't necessarily understand Mastodon that well, but I do think that's the reason why the Dutch government launched one. So feel free to fill in anything. What do you guys think about Mastodon or something? I don't know.
It's for nerds.
Okay.
I have not used Mastodon at all.
Okay. I'm in good company then. That's good.
Yeah.
It's been like I have one. It's been like a year since I've used mine.
I have it, but the server I was on was closed because people started threatening to kill each other over the Harry Potter game.
Oh, okay. Well,
So now I'm on one for H Commons.
okay.
Mine is laserdisc.pizza, I think, is the one I'm on. And it's for people who like movies. And I think it's a closed server. They're not accepting people anymore. It's special.
I think it's once again, it's clarity that they desire, that they have a way to communicate to its citizens. This is and because Mastodon does allow linking to other platforms, I believe it can link to threads as well.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
you can federate between them so you can view what people are saying on other servers. What I understand from the piece that you sent us is, I don't know if this happened in response to it, but there was a major storm and the fire department sent out an emergency text telling them to check Twitter for latest updates. But that happened to coincide with the time when Twitter was preventing people who didn't have accounts from being able to read tweets. So the government wants to have a alternative social media platform that all the government agencies can use as one server, which makes total sense to me. Especially if Federation does become a thing. I don't really think it will, but we'll see what happens once Blue Sky opens Federation.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. It'll be an interesting experiment.
Yeah, the argument for Mastodon is that it was there, I would argue, there and accessible. And I saw a lot of government officials promote their Mastodon on their Twitter before this whole shift happened and this server was launched. So I think there was internally already okay, well, it doesn't really matter what platform we go to, but we need to all know we're going to go to platform A, B, or C. And I think that's what happened. It's all a bunch of European officials in general, not just Dutch ones. And
It's not any different from it's not any different from maintaining a government website that if you text someone and say, everyone go see updates at emergency services website. If you say there's going to be live updates on a Mastodon server, that's no different. It's just a slightly different technology, but it's just web technology.
The United States is federal government is notoriously bad at being able to do that, though.
Yeah.
When one of my graduate assistantships when I was in grad school was working on updating our gov docs, libguides and stuff, and checking all the sudoc permalinks, pearls, and every single one of them was just broken, dead link, even though we weren't getting the physical things anymore. But all the links they were sending us just didn't work anymore because the United States federal government doesn't maintain that shit.
Well, they reorganize every presidency. Yeah. So whenever the president changes, they move agencies under each other, and and so then their websites get all fucked up.
Yeah. And so the pearls don't work like they're supposed to, which fucks over your sudocs.
Because someone has to update the pearls, and it's nobody's job because the government printing office doesn't have any authority.
To tie then really quick into, once again, Dutch culture, we do have a long-standing archival element to our culture. I don't associate with it fondly because it's how a lot of people were found during World War II. But it is a Dutch tradition to just note things down. You might know the Dutch if you paid attention during history lessons by creating stock markets. We once again, which tulip belonged to which person? You have to keep track of those things. And that's, in a more serious fashion, I don't know. There's a long-standing tradition of writing things down, I suppose, that configures into a bunch of things. And with Twitter being Twitter, I would once again argue that's why we launched our own server, I guess.
Do we think that's more or less stable than nerds who argue over the Harry Potter game and then close the server down? I don't to me it's part of me thinks that would be more stable, but then part of me is that's inherently antithetical to the spirit of Mastodon. This is why I don't think decentralization, it's good in concept, but then it's but to have any stability belies the sort of anti-authoritarian decentralization concept.
Yeah, you need bureaucracy to maintain things long term, and that you would have to have like one government office maintaining the Mastodon. If you have like multiple people given ownership over it, then like nobody's going to do it, right? It has to be somebody's job. It could be one dude. Like a lot of internet infrastructure is like one dude, but
yeah, it's just a furry into Linux.
Yeah. I thought it was interesting, though, because they had this note about digital common goods, and they were saying that the government might want to support alternatives to private organizations, which I think is an interesting idea. So, like, if you just ran some government services free, like open source things, and then just hosted them on government servers and said, like, we're going to keep this open. Library of Congress kind of does stuff like that when it comes to, like, preservation. They're not really open for anyone to use, but it's not terrible.
Yeah, no, it's interesting mainly because what I started off with the cheapening of space online and data. We built a lot of data centers, like a lot. Once again, for a small country, we just put them kind of in the middle of nowhere, and it's like, oh, good luck. And then we sell them to Facebook or Meta and Google. And Google is then once again buying up large swaths of land in the middle of fucking nowhere around here and putting data centers there. And we are fine with this because, as I put in my little, sorry for all the information in the little setting the scene part, by the way. It was just there. Yeah, we love doing that for big companies. We love creating dependability as well, like countries depending on each other in a type of new age, what would you call it, Woodrow Wilson kind of way, like this web of interdependence. I know, not nobody's favorite president. I know, I'm so sorry. But yeah, we do kind of believe in that in kind of savvy business type of way, which is terrible. I know, it is as terrible as it sounds, but I guess that's another argument, once again, for the server being there.
I'm having the realization that Infinite Jest is just about the Netherlands.
Yeah. Okay. Have fun with that.
About 2 people will find that funny.
No, it's just I misheard. I didn't react because I misheard you because when you said Woodrow Wilson, I thought you said bourgeois realism, and I was like, "That is a good name for European independence."
Bourgeois realism. Oh God. Okay. Yeah. It's maybe that's a thing.
Well, yeah, realism is kind of that international school of politics. Is like everyone is going to point nukes at each other, and then we'll all get along.
Yeah,
that's
mutual
realism.
assured destruction is indeed a classical realism notion. Yeah, you have neo-realism, which is then hegemons point nukes at each other, and everybody will get along. It's
somehow
no. If you encounter a political scientist, this is going to be just the one political science thing I'll say. If you encounter a political scientist who believes in realism, just disregard anything they say. I'm so sorry. Maybe listen to the liberalism. I don't know, but the realism people are like. Let me put it like this. When I didn't study for an exam and the exam question was like, argue from one of the classical perspectives for this, I picked realism because it's that fucking stupid that everybody can just like write out an answer to an exam question for. So that's what all you need to know about realism. Sorry.
I went to a small liberal arts college, and so I had a lot of courses with the same professor, and he was a realist political scientist. And so I don't think we even learned about like socialist theories of international relations. We just learned about realism. He was Italian, so realism and capitalism and fascism.
Fascism.
Yeah.
Okay. That's great. I don't think you should be allowed to be a university professor if you're a realist, but that's okay.
Or
that's
Italian.
The last thing I'll say on that.
Or Italian.
No, I don't.
Wait, Leon, say Italian real quick.
No,
I'm not going to edit anything.
No, I'm good. You have to go to my Cameo. That's at... No, it's okay.
No, I'm saving that for Badlands Chugs. I'm going to get him to say something cool. It's like $200. Man knows what he's worth. Shout out to my boy Badlands Chugs.
Who is that?
He's a big, big dude, and he chugs stuff on YouTube.
Sounds hot. Can I date him?
Yeah, probably.
Cool.
Okay.
He's famous for one meme where he chugs the ocean, and it's just him putting a straw into the ocean and then like
Nice.
watching so it's like a time motion lapse of the tide going out.
That's what I like in a man. Chugs the ocean.
He's like chugs heavy water and he chugs the crazy stuff. He's a madman.
90% of men stop chugging the ocean right before they chug the whole ocean. I don't know if you know that.
Thick water, not heavy water. I'm misnaming everything. It's government publishing office, not government printing office. I fucking put Maryland in the wrong spot.
Listen, the other day I said night no Frez crawler instead of instead of a Fresno Nightcrawler. So you're not on that level of fuck up.
Fresh crawler is way better. It's
Going
way
to Taco
better.
Bell to get the Nando fresh crawler.
Yeah. Tingle outside the binkle.
Oh.
Jay, my wife, had about the same reaction.
Yeah, I don't know if you guys feel strongly about decentralization of, once again, these big platforms, or how is anyone wants to conjecture wildly about the state of informational storage? I don't know.
People who have a big hard on about decentralization don't know what they're talking about. And I say this as an anarchist. I'm like, that's actually not how that works, actually.
Yeah, I will say
You need a little structure, a little bit.
I will say
touch.
I'm more positively associated towards it than fucking blockchain. That people were talking about it, but that's the problem. I heard people talking about it the same way. I'm like, that already tingles my senses in a way that I'm like, no, thank you. But yeah, no, structurally it sounds slightly better than all that jazz. But we are talking bottom of the barrel shit here at the same time. So I don't know.
And it's like, the vibes on Mastodon was just a bunch of like IT guys, no offense, Sadie, like, talking about Mastodon. That's all Mastodon is. It's just people being dorks about Mastodon. Blue Sky is almost as bad, but at least. Oh yeah, let's cook. Let's cook on that one. Because that's good.
There's a lot more dicks on Blue Sky.
Oh yeah, my feed is just like hogs and then like naked trans women as far as the eye can see. It's a paradise over there.
Wait, where are y'all? I haven't found my way there yet.
You have to go on to What's Hot.
What's Hot Classic.
That's the dick feed.
Fat Cock Friday, baby. My favorite day of the week is Fat Cock Friday.
Until 11 p.m., then it becomes Arabic feed.
Oh,
exactly, yes.
Pulling up Blue Sky right now.
Yeah, it's just trans women, Fat Cock Friday. I was there when Chick Cum Sandwich happened.
We talked about that on Ender Subject. It hasn't come out yet.
I support Chick Cum Sandwich.
I don't.
Well,
that's what you come for, the hot takes, baby. That's
this is the T for T, T for T pervert solidarity corner. Okay.
Can't do that to a chicken. Chickens are meant to be loved. Chickens are friends, not food.
God, I wish I had my soundboard. I have a clip of Werner Herzog complaining about chicken, and how they're fucking stupid. How easy it is to hypnotize a chicken. It's amazing. I just like Werner Herzog. That's all.
I love
killed Jay
so much. I love Werner Herzog.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, good.
I love Werner Herzog. He ate his own shoe one time.
Oh, yeah. My favorite story is that, I forgot her name, but this actress was asking, like, oh, have you ever seen Ghost? And he's like, I don't want to talk about it. And then he's like, no, we're doing this weird scene. Tell me about Ghosts. And he just like, I don't want to talk about it, and stormed off. And I don't know. I feel that's so on brand, but okay.
He's directed opera before. I love him.
That's also, once again, very on brand, I would argue.
Yes. That's me when I grow up. I'm just Werner Herzog. A really faggy Werner Herzog. That's me. Been about, 40 years.
So the problem with decentralization, though,
Yeah, Justin, tell me, please.
is duplication is better than single decentralization, I think, is the main problem. So you want, because lots of copies keep stuff safe, right? So you want to like make redundant backups. So if every time you made an instance of Mastodon, it like backed up like a trove of other Mastodon, it would use up a lot of computing space, but it would also make the platform more stable in the long term because you'd have lots of independent backups, right? But usually you want those like kind of running off a centralized kind of thing. So like in long-term digital archiving, there are multiple data centers in like, high places because like we know ocean levels are going to rise. We're not going to do anything about it. So there are multiple data centers if you send them off to like Chronopolis or whatever, and they're all across like the United States, right? But they're all like centrally controlled. They're the same copy. It just goes to multiple data centers. So if you had a decentralized web, it should be people cooperating through confederation rather than competing through federation. I think is the problem. Like confederation should mean redundancy and duplication.
Like torrenting, but
Yeah. No, that's actually a pretty good model. Is as long as the torrent points to like the right place, it doesn't matter if the data moves around, you can still get the data from someone. It's a good technology.
Yeah.
And they don't want you to have it. That's why they put you on an iPhone. That's actually one other thing about Mastodon though, before I go like what I wanted to close on. When you run a Mastodon server, you are now sort of running an internet service, which means you're most likely governed by the DMCA now. So you have to have a compliance officer registered with, you have to have a designated agent.
Thanks, Prince.
With the Copyright Office. So that could be like this is the problem with the Mastodon model is like, legally there's so much liability.
Yeah.
It would keep either it's going to be unenforced, like a lot of copyright stuff, which is good. They're just going to fuck over like one or two people and just like send them to jail for 1 million years for no reason. Or no one's going to do it because the risk is too high.
Oh, yeah. So once again, I don't know if the whole DMCA stuff, which it was indeed very interesting. I saw it in the notes. I don't know what the exact laws are for governments who do this type of thing. I imagine, once again, there's a lot of stuff between EU law and American companies and American DMCA. There's a bunch of fun stories about that I will not get into. Okay, maybe one. But the point being here is that I'm going to assume that they are just like, well, if they don't do anything too outrageous, which the Dutch government, by far and large, can be dependent on, not because of virtue, because we're fucking boring, but they probably won't do anything outrageous DMCA-wise. And it's mainly there for Dutch government communication and clarity of that. I don't think it's going to be one of those unwritten agreement things that you see so often in this weird copyright landscape. Also, I don't know how that would be enforced, if anything, for American DMCA stuff.
Well,
yeah, international copyright's so fucked.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, like, when a country runs something, it has sovereign immunity.
Yeah. Also,
which is the same as a state, too, because, like, that's what happened when Virginia, like, just stole a dude's documentary. They're like, we're sovereign. The copyright law doesn't apply to us.
Yeah, no, there's once again, it is then very interesting with this whole Western economy unity. We see this, which has recently been reaffirmed through the conflict in Ukraine, for example. We see a lot of Western companies pulling out of Russia as an economic sanction, for instance. Once again, the Netherlands would never, we're not going to invade Belgium or something, I think. So I don't foresee any scenario where like a lot of American companies would have to pull out of the Netherlands. So there's this, I don't know how to necessarily say this politely, but there's this assumption, let's say assumption, that's, the Netherlands is part of the civilized world. Russia isn't, therefore we don't really have to worry about Netherlands pulling some kind of weird shit. Regarding the copyright stuff, I know, to give you an idea how crazy it is sometimes, it's there's a very small little shack of like, what do you guys call it? Where you can get fries, essentially. And it's called Wendy's. And just because that's also a Dutch name. and it's stopping the giant food chain of Wendy's United States to coming over here. Because there's one little corner in Amsterdam that has the name Wendy's, so he doesn't want to sell it for some reason, just because he gets like an interview every few months because somebody recovers the story. So I don't know, he just doesn't want to do it. He likes giving fries to people. So
Yeah,
I mean,
I can do it.
Yes, more power to him.
Yeah, when Wendy's gets de-verified on Twitter, I'm signing up for at Wendy's. You will find me on Twitter at Wendy's.
Okay.
And I'm going to be fucking posting all kinds of bullshit
Sick.
Ted Cruz until I'm banned again. It's so hard not to keep doing it because you ride that high, and then I see something, I'm like, I still got all those photos saved. I can still send them.
Also, Twitter in the Netherlands is only celebrities and conspiracy theorists are on there. It's not a popular platform. We are all on Instagram and like other stuff. Like old people are on Facebook still, and the young people are on Instagram. That's the rule. Nobody goes to Twitter. I don't know why this happened. It's just one of those social evolutionary things.
Yeah, but Twitter took a long time to actually take off.
Oh,
It was like a weird place for a long time where no one was really like interested in posting.
We do like pictures because we want to show we have nothing to hide. That's a very interesting element of that culture. Jay, you have watched
all those flowers.
You have watched the what's the YouTube series again by Kyle Green? What's his name?
Oh, Kyle Gren on the Browse Health High episodes on Starship Troopers.
Yes,
and Paul Verhoeven.
I would humbly suggest, if you want to know more about how fucked up Dutch culture is, I would very humbly suggest these YouTube videos, these video essay, because I can't jam it into here because that would be disingenuous, I suppose. But it's great. He does make a couple of small errors, but that's fine. It's okay. He tries from the heart, and I appreciate that.
Yeah, he lived there for a long time.
In what city?
I'm not. Don't make fun of me.
Try it.
No.
I'm going to type it out in the chat, and we're all going to have a try at this.
Scheveningen?
All right,
Did I say it right that time?
Go ahead. Everybody gets it.
It's good. I speak Irish. All right.
Jesus Christ. That's how you say that?
Yes.
So even the Germans can't speak this. We use it in World War II as like a secret code to like show you're not a German agent. You have to say this city's name.
Yeah.
I'm going to try my best this time. Scheveningen?
Close. Okay.
Yeah.
Justin?
Yeah.
Do you want to?
Squeak!
Okay.
Skeet.
Scheveningen. That's what it's called.
Scheveningen.
That's that. Yeah, you're getting there.
Mm-hmm.
It's something.
Scheveningen. Okay, that's fun.
Scheveningen.
Yeah. Okay. That was my.
It's your Dutch lesson for the day.
Yeah.
That was my torturous entertainment. I'm so sorry. That's the blood money I wanted for being on this episode. That's
You're very mean.
Yeah. No. Oh yeah. What else is there? What else ought I be?
I'm trying to look up what the DMCA in the EU is, and it's the Electronic Commerce Directive 2000.
It's not the same ring to it.
No.
Have fun waging your way through multiple treaties, buddy. It's a reason why I didn't look it up. I'm so sorry, but that's going to take a month of research, and that's once again very European. Documents of like jazz, and nobody really knows what's going on, and we kind of get off on it in a weird, twisted little way. So
you're all
I love yelling at each other about like produce laws, like you fish too many fish, you pick too many bananas. Those bananas are bendy bananas.
We don't have bananas over here, but I appreciate
importing rules
because you're all queer Dutch socialists or whatever it was that TikTok said.
Yeah, England loves to lie about it to like exit the European Union, which has worked out great for them. But that's neither here nor there. I don't like the European Union, by the way, but that's neither here nor there either. But lying about it doesn't really help anybody. There's another choice you say that it does. like flooding the Mediterranean with warships to shoot down refugees. I hate it. I hate it for it. But to lie about Spanish fishermen fishing in
Stealing our
England
fish.
seas, stealing our little Kepler fish, yeah, go fuck yourself. No, that's not a real thing to get mad about. So yeah, but we do get mad about legitimate reasons as well, with the whole fishing and producing stuff.
Are there orcas fucking up billionaires' yachts in your waters? Good.
I thought that's where it was happening the whole time.
Yeah,
Was
around
it?
Spain and Portugal, we have like a bunch of them.
Good.
And they are like, bring more rich people.
I support them.
Yeah.
So yummy.
Do you think
They're
they were
jealous of the
American orcas?
Obviously not.
We don't have an Ocean Gate, sadly. They are not one of the companies that do tax break in the Netherlands, so we don't get billionaire submarines here.
I don't think Jeremy Clarkson would lie to me about the EU.
No. Seems like a straight up fellow.
Yeah.
Only yells at the help and is such a decent person. Didn't he throw food at one? Isn't that why he had to
No, he
leave
punched
Top Gear?
somebody.
Oh, right. He punched somebody. That's why he had to leave Top Gear and does the Amazon thing now. I forgot what's called. Ground Tour.
Yeah.
Whatever.
no one watches it.
Yeah, no, precisely.
Everyone's like, Top Gear's over.
Yeah.
Something else. I thought about doing a rewatch on some old episodes, though, because it's an entertaining show. Are we seeing the end of the open web is kind of the thought I was having. Zoomers, we all, as millennials, know that they don't know how to work file systems. That's the thing everyone makes fun of them for, because they all got the iPads, and the iPad doesn't show you the file system, and Zoomers are too dumb to chew gum. But I mean, I really think like the destruction of the open web is sort of like an imminent thing. They've kind of already done it in some countries, but right now we have COSA, which is very popular among our lawmakers. It will probably pass. They got Lizzo. They got her.
Oh, okay.
Lizzo's like,
Rip.
yeah, COSA. If you don't know what COSA is, it's basically just it's kind of like the UK's porn passport, but for everything.
Oh.
So you have to put your driver's license in to go on the internet.
Okay.
Yeah, so basically every website would have to do like age verification. And the only way to do that is through government identification. So it doesn't say that you have to do driver's license, but it's like there's no other way to do it.
Sick.
Yeah.
As in, I hate it. Okay.
Yeah, it's bad.
Sick.
Aren't I glad I moved out of Utah when I did,
Louisiana has a law like this already, I believe.
Yeah, because that's why Pornhub's blocked
Yeah.
Louisiana IPs for a while.
I don't know if they unblocked it.
Yeah, they might not have.
But yeah, it's the Kids Online Safety Act. It's the Heritage Foundation has already said we're going to use this to censor queer people. So that's what it's for. But we're in the middle of a lavender panic, people. Like this is how this 2 or 3 years is going to be described, is as the 2020 lavender panic in America. Calling it now, and that I'm going to write a paper called the 2020 lavender panic, and everyone's going to cite it.
Oh, sick.
Yeah, I'm going to post it on
The Netherlands
Threads.
Mastodon.
Yeah.
Netherlands Mastodon. Find me on Netherlands Mastodon.
Me and all my homies are on the Netherlands Mastodon.
I was really big on weird
I can't wait
Netherlands
for
Mastodon.
Justin. I can't wait for Justin to end up in the Danish Mastodon server for some reason. So
No, I'm in the
Do they
Danish
have one?
Discord.
Do they fight? Do
No.
they kiss?
Danish Discord. Yes.
Me and all my homies are in the Danish Discord.
Yes.
Bro, they're getting your ass on Danish Discord.
Wake up, bro.
Bro.
So COSA would lead to loss of access for anything dangerous for kids. Also, it would let every state attorney general be able to hold like any website liable. So I think this would end Section 230, basically.
Which is what they've been trying to do all along, right?
Yeah, once Section 230 is gone, there's really like no open web anymore, because then it's just an unending series of lawsuits.
Yeah. It's just vomit after vomit of liability.
Yeah. So that's Section 230 of the Communications Decency Act. It prevents you from liability when you're hosting a service for what your users do, as long as you are acting sort of in good faith, which is, legally difficult to prove that someone isn't. So it's a good gray area legally to be in. But this is very much like every state attorney's general is going to be just suing the shit out of everyone they don't like.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't that what the legal system's for?
It really makes me think like I should go to law school because the only people who have like any rights in this country are fucking people trained in law school.
You'd be like the most absurdist lawyer.
Yeah.
I wouldn't practice. I would just yell at cops.
You'd be that guy on TikTok that's like, don't ever talk to
God.
police with his rings.
So,
That'd be you.
I would just because cops always I'm near downtown, so cops are always going past doing bullshit and like going past the consulate or whatever. I'm just gonna stand like right legally where I can and make the most obscene gestures I legally can, and then when they come up and yell at me, I'm like yell at them in some legalese, and I'm gonna put up surveillance cameras all around my house, and then I'm gonna get shot, and it's not gonna matter.
get shot to own the cops. That's the takeaway here, guys.
But at least I'll know I was right, and the law will prove it.
Oh yeah,
That's what going to law school is all about.
Being right.
I mean, they always told me when I was a kid that I should be a lawyer.
oh.
Yeah, because I was just a fussy little mean child who was always correcting people. I mean, like, no, it's actually this. So
Somehow,
The-
I'm not surprised.
I
The
know.
ADHD
Okay.
baby.
I was a mean little bitch, and I'm a mean little bitch, and I always have been. And they told me you should be a lawyer, but lawyers like were mean to me as a kid, and so I was like, no, lawyers suck, and I never liked them. Yeah, custody battles when you're a child are very fun.
Oh.
Yeah, this is why I wouldn't be a therapist.
Yeah, no.
Da. Leon, where can people find you?
Well, I have two podcasts. Justin is on there. Jay will be on there.
I've been on there once already.
Yeah, but we'll all be on there. Well, never mind. I was trying to do foreshadowing, Jay. Christ.
Oh, okay, fine.
Anyway, it's
Ruined it.
it's the left page, and you can find us on wherever podcasts are found nowadays. I believe we just got a Blue Sky up and running for the left page. Blue Sky, whatever we want to call it. Just left page, and it's also called Hearing Media, which is where we talk about media in the same way we talk about literature. So yeah, that's what I do. Otherwise, click your heels together 3 times and turn around, and I'll be there. That's how you can find me. That's
What am I doing
or
here
call me
in
Danish.
the middle of the ocean, alone in a boat, surrounded by frozen corpses?
Yes, I'm.
Was that our boy?
Yeah,
Zizek.
yeah. He did
Our
say
boy, derogatory.
Dat boy.
I liked him until he got into the whole transphobia thing lately, and that's a bit unfortunate.
I know.
I do
I was
think
like,
that-
just laugh off.
My most cancelable opinion is that I do think that the movie that the clip was from still kind of slaps, sadly. But I like him when he talks about media. When he talks about anything else, I'm like,
His takes on Buddhism are interesting.
okay, I'll take your word for it.
But yeah.
It's
R.I.P. Sinead O'Connor.
yeah, that's
As we close out, you're a real one.
nothing will compare to this podcast.
Hey, let's all rip up a picture of the Pope
Yeah,
in her honor.
but it has to be what's his name?
John Paul II.
John Paul II. Yeah, thank you.
I don't know Catholic shit.
He was the Pope for fucking ever. It's not
Yeah,
hard.
I don't. I'm a filthy little Protestant. I don't know this shit. He wears a stupid hat. Like
Dude was
the only
born
Pope
90.
I recognize is the young Pope.
Yeah,
Oh, Christ.
the
Love
young
the
Pope. It's my rapper name.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you so much for having me. I'm so sorry if this was hard to follow, if anything. But I
There's an
also have
outline.
ADHD, like Jay. So when people are asking me what's relevant, yes, all of it's relevant. It all builds together. It's all terrifying.
We all have ADHD.
We stuck to
All
the
three of
outline.
us.
It'll flow.
Okay. Thanks
Yeah,
so
no,
much.
it's always the episodes that I think are gonna like blow chunks that turn out great.
Okay.
Well, thank you for coming on. It's been fun.
Thank you so much. If something Brazilian happens, I'll toss Frank in your direction.
Well,
so
Frank next week is going to be on my Cannibalism Sicko Mode podcast talking about the Cannibalism Manifesto.
I'm looking
Which
forward
is
to that.
Brazilian. Yeah, no, it's going to be fucking sick. It's great.